Hi everyone, Brian here wishing you a wonderful Friday and a great weekend ahead. I'm recording this at the end of the hottest week we have had in the summer here in Chicago, but it's reminiscent of what people are experiencing not just across the United States but around the world. It does remind me that I was a geography student before I switched my major into sort of a pre-theology program. And even back in the 1970s, my professors were talking about the impact of human behavior on the upper levels of the atmosphere, and that would impact climate. They were not as alarmed as current geographers are around the world, but I remember hearing that, we would probably be the first species to actually impact our environment in a way that may be very problematic for us and for other living creatures. So, as we hit this really hot spell, we've had them before and we'll have them again, and I know that the world has always had really, blasts of heat and blasts of cold weather. But the threat of increased harsh conditions, tougher storms, higher highs and lower lows, is just the beginning of a shift in global climate that is going to impact our children and grandchildren. And a week of heat like this is a reminder of that. I happen to believe also in the ultimate responsibility of human beings to respond to the mistakes we make and make an authentic movement to try to correct it and to move into life with a deeper sense of compassion and appreciation and justice for the people with whom we share the planet, and a greater depth of appreciation for the planet itself. And I believe in that we have technological wherewithal so that we can address these issues. We need to remember this, though, as Christians. We're supposed to be looking always with our sort of spiritual glasses on to keep our eyes open for the spirit of good news, the gospel kind of bursting into the world. And we need to do that especially these days with special attention to those innovations, those ways we can alter our personal habits, embrace personal responsibility, and move more deeply into an appreciation for how we can live with each other and on the planet. And it's our job really to watch for those moments, acknowledge them, name them, celebrate them, and join with the world as we experience sort of new life and commitment to the life of those we will leave behind on this planet. In particular, I want to point out that global climate change and the sort of increase in global migration are not they're issues that overlap very closely. There are parts of the world, and alas, they are parts of the world where the poorest of the poor and the most desperate of the desperate happen to live, places where the environment has always been perhaps more critical. And as our heat rises here, you can imagine what it's like in environments closer to the equator. And so while we can see all the problems of global migration, and of course especially the migration that is pressuring always at our southern border, I do think it's a place where we can see, really have those lenses on to see that this ache and pain is a part of the global crisis of climate change, and that we bear a responsibility for helping to create it, and we do bear a responsibility for helping to alleviate its pains as best we can. So as more and more migrants are part of the life we have here in Chicago, I hope COS and COSers will always be mindful of this, and I'm sure we'll have opportunities in the probably not distant future to reflect about this more significantly. This Sunday at Church of Our Savior, we have a special treat. Joseph O'Neill, spelled the same way as Janice O'Neill, but not related, happens to be visiting from Ireland. So we've invited him to come to the 9 and 10:45 services, with my apologies to the people at 7:45. He's going to talk about his company, which is called Eternum, and how it could help us move forward with the construction of a columbarium. We've had lots of wonderful parishioners in the past who've worked on the concept of a columbarium. We've looked at a variety of sites, but mainly he's going to come and tell us about what his company is like and what his company can do for us. I look forward to greeting him this Sunday, and as many of you as can get to our nicely air-conditioned church. Hope everyone's well and enjoying the end of summer, and for many the beginning of the school year. Blessings to everyone, and have a wonderful weekend and a blessed Sunday.